Hi, this is Vicki with Crafting for Fun. Today I'm going to show you how to make this really cute carrot Easter treat holder. If you're looking for an economical craft that you can make quickly and even involve your children, this is the perfect thing for you. So let me show you what you'll need to make this little treat holder. This treat holder is finished with length of it is about 6 inches, not including the little fringe on top. So it's about 6 inches long and a little over 2 inches wide. So let me show you what you'll need to make it. To make this project, you'll need a piece of orange patterned paper. Lightweight paper actually works better than cardstock because it bends easier without creasing. So this is just some polka dot paper, but I will tell you, I have tried it with plaid paper and microprint paper. It looks just adorable with all kinds of orange print papers. You'll also need a scrap of lightweight green cardstock, and this piece measures about 2 1/8 inches wide by 5 inches long, and so that's all you'll need in order to make the carrot. To embellish it the way that I did, you'll need some additional things. You'll need a scrap of orange, a scrap of green, and then I just have a scrap of white cardstock that I have stamped a small sentiment on, and this one says Happy Easter, and it's from the Stampin' Up Stamping Up stamp set called Teeny Tiny Wishes. In addition, if you want to embellish the way that I did, you'll need some punches. I'm using the large oval punch, the small oval punch, and the scalloped oval punch from Stampin' Up. But the way you embellish this is entirely up to you, so if you have another cute tag that would work or another cute stamp that would work, by all means use that. So back to making the carrot. To make the carrot, what I did was I took a piece of paper, it's 5 inches by 6 inches, and I turned it over, and on the back, on one long edge, I applied some adhesive, and in this case I'm using score tape just so that you can see where my tape is. And then on the shorter edges, the 5-inch edges, I put tape in the middle, so I started about a 1/2 inch in from either edge and just put it across the top and the bottom. And so I'm going to remove the liner from the piece that is along my long edge, and essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this up to make something that resembles, believe it or not, a very long toilet paper tube. If you have ever made the sour cream containers that were very popular treat holders for a while, this is a very, very similar project. So I just sealed that up, and it's just basically a long tube that's sealed all the way along the side. Now what I want to do, my seam is here, and I want to, when I fold this, I want to make sure that my seam is about 2/3 of the way over from the edge. And I'm just going to fold that at one end to make it flat at one end. And so I'll show you that. It's flat only on one end. And I'm going to reach inside, and this is where it helps to have either a pokey tool or to use your fingernails. And I'm going to pull the liner off of that tape, and I promise you this is absolutely the hardest part of the entire project. Let me see. There we go. So I'm going to pull the liner off of that, and then I'm going to close that in. I'm going to pinch that end shut. Then I'm going to take my piece of green cardstock, and I'm going to fold it in half. Now this is where you may have to do a little trimming, because what I'm going to do is I have this one folded this way, so it's like that, but the other one, the other end, I'm going to fold in the opposite direction. So I'm going to fold it in that direction. So one will be folded this way and the other one will be folded the opposite way. And then I'm going to need to try to fit this green piece in there to make sure that it's a good fit. Now it should fit tightly in there, and it does. It should fit tightly in there, and if it's too wide you may need to trim just a sliver off of the end. I want that to fit end to end, and the reason I say approximately 2 1/8 inches is because depending on how much you overlapped when you made your circular shape, it may make your finished dimensions a little wider or a little narrower. So I'm going to pull that out. I know that that fits now, and I would want to take some adhesive and apply adhesive right here. Oops, let me grab my adhesive and I'll be right back. So I know I have a good fit, so now I'm going to put some adhesive along the edge on the inside. And I'm going to go ahead and close that up, and then I'm going to insert that back. Oh, I need to reach inside and take the liner off of my tape that's in there. There you go. And now I'm going to insert the end that I taped together back inside of my tube. Just make sure it's straight. And I'm going to squeeze it down. Now, this is the part that's kind of optional. You can just skip the step with the crimping tool, or you can do this. If you don't have a crimping tool, this would be just fine without it, but it does add a little extra dimension. So I'm going to insert the end of my paper into my crimping tool, and I'm going to crimp all the way down to the bottom of that green, and then I'm going to go about 1, 2, 3 clicks into the orange paper. And then when I pull that out, I've got that nice crimped there. I'm just going to skip to the other end here and show you what I'm going to do on the other end of that carrot. On the other end of that carrot, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 clicks and then back. And that just makes the ends look a little more finished. So now I have that green hanging off, and I'm going to use some fringing scissors. If you don't have fringing scissors, you could just cut the little slits by hand. Another thing you could do if you do not have the crimping tool is simply just fan fold this green part back and forth, make little tiny fan folds like you used to do in school, and that would give you a crimped look also. So I'm just going to cut with my fringing scissors. I'm going to cut all the way up to the orange on this little green trim across the top, just to make my little carrot fringe. Now I like to come back after I've done that and cut the little ends off. That way my pieces can separate. And then I just kind of take my fingers and I kind of rough those up so that there's actually 2 layers of paper, so that the layers kind of separate. And I kind of fan them out. So there I have my carrot. And in case I didn't mention, before you seal both ends up, you of course would want to fill your container with treats. So there I have my little carrot treat holder, and now I want to go ahead and embellish it. So, like I said, I stamped the Happy Easter sentiment from Teeny Tiny Wishes. I'm going to use my small oval punch to punch out that sentiment. I'm going to take a scrap of orange paper, and I'm going to punch a large oval punch. And I'm going to take my green scrap of paper, and I'm going to punch 1 scalloped oval punch. Then I'm just going to layer this up using dimensionals. So I'm going to put 1 dimensional on the back of the orange piece. I'm going to put it in the center of that scalloped oval. Oops, that isn't very straight. There we go. Just didn't want to go straight. I'm going to do a dimensional on the back of my sentiment piece. I'm going to put it in the middle of my orange oval, and then I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of the whole thing. And I'm going to pop that on my carrot. There you go. And that's a really cute, really simple Easter treat made with just a 5x6 piece of paper, a scrap of green for the fringe, and then whatever you choose to embellish. I hope you enjoyed today's project. If you have any questions, you can email me at craftingforfun@gmail.com, or you can check out my blog, craftingforfun.blogspot.com, for additional tutorials. Thank you.